Yo, what's going on, guys?
What's happening?
How's everybody doing? I'm Nick,
I'm Eric.
and we're talking fair sports. We had another exciting week of football. Let's talk a little bit about it, and then let's get down to our picks.
All right.
What stood out most to you?
The most surprising part to me was watching Roethlisberger go out and then Drew Brees in the very next game.
I know. Drew Brees got injured. Ben Roethlisberger got injured.
And is out for the season.
He's out. If the New Orleans Saints put Drew Brees on IR, it could take up to 8 weeks, but they're estimating 6 weeks before he comes back. And then obviously Sam Darnold was down, but the backup, Trevor Siemian, ended up hurting. So what I'm hearing is he tore ligaments in his ankle. And then who was the other quarterback? That Cam Newton didn't practice today because he's hurt as well, but nobody's disclosed what he's injured about.
Probably being Cam Newton.
Oh, he's getting old and he's been banged up over his career. He's been real hurt. So, we've seen a lot of quarterbacks either get really hurt this year or have been so hurt that they didn't want to play. Is this the end of a quarterback era that we're looking at here? Is these going to be all these new faces here?
Maybe. If you're talking about all of those people, I mean, that's a pretty wide range in ages.
Cam Newton and Sam Darnold are definitely a big gap, but I wouldn't say that Cam Newton's that much of a huge gap from. I mean, Drew Brees has definitely been playing a little while longer, but I'm looking at like this as a face of the franchise as a quarterback era, not as like an age.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Like a face of a franchise.
Right. Okay. Then yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. So
it very well could be.
I don't know. I don't keep up with college football as much as maybe I should, but I don't know how the quarterbacks coming up into the league look right now. So you got a question. You got to ask, is Ben Roethlisberger done? You think he'll come back next season?
I don't know. It's kind of tough to say. I mean, it didn't really. It sounded like he might be considering being done, I think.
I mean, Tommy John surgery for a football player is not common.
No. And I don't know. It can't really, it's kind of hard to formulate an opinion on that just because it happened so recently that anything you see or hear is probably just a knee-jerk reaction to, he's
an injury,
older, and he just got injured and that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, if you look at this team, it's not when the Seahawks played the Patriots, the announcers were saying that was Ben Roethlisberger's second season when he won the Super Bowl against the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
No other player on the field that day. Not even the coaches, if I'm correct, because Cowell was the.
I don't think any of the.
Nobody else but Ben Roethlisberger was playing on either of these teams,
right,
that year. So you just that's gotta be a question, right? Like, is this guy gonna come back after an injury? I don't know. I don't think he'll retire because of the injury, but if he does retire, getting out because of that, I don't know, man. He might be just the age thing, dude. He's been in the league a long time.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I wanted to point out other things that happen in the league. What happened with the Panthers against the Buccaneers, man?
I don't know. I didn't watch that game. I didn't even watch highlights.
Cam Newton didn't look very good. And like I said before, he's not looking good from week 1. And he's not at practice today. So you got to wonder what's going on over there.
Yeah. Especially after going into week 1, he said he was coming back healthier and in better shape than he'd ever been in.
There used to be a time when on 4th down in the end zone in the red zone where Cam Newton's getting that ball.
Mm-hmm.
And they handed it off to McCaffrey. I don't blame them, but is that them showing that Cam Newton doesn't have what he used to?
Well, I mean, he can still run when he has to, but why? As I don't know, indifferent as it may sound, you can pick up another running back during the season. Going out and finding another,
franchise
quarterback, you ain't doing that.
Right. I agree. Nice. Yeah, we're doing Tuesdays now. We were going to be doing Tuesdays last week, but we had some counterflicting schedules. So I was shocked that the Titans came out and lost to the Colts. Close game. Colts are a good team. Like, just because Andrew Luck isn't their quarterback now, everything else, all the weapons and everything,
they're still there. Yeah.
Yeah, they're still a good team. I just saw after the showing that the Titans put out the week before that was going to be a little bit more of a blowout.
I didn't. I mean that. They played really well against them.
You all right there? Yeah, I'm good.
Really well against the Chargers, and the Browns had 18 penalties and 3 interceptions in their loss to the Titans. It's just not good football.
Right. The Eagles had an opportunity multiple times to be significantly in the lead against the Falcons and didn't capitalize. So I'm wondering if the Falcons are a better team than we anticipated, or maybe the Eagles are dropping the ball there. I don't know. I don't really attribute the loss to the Rams for the Saints on the team so much as Drew Brees going down. I think Drew Brees is a major factor of that team, and I still would think that the Saints would have won that if Drew Brees hadn't gotten injured. Pat Mahomes came out in the second quarter against the Raiders after the Raiders came out with a lead, and he threw 4 touchdowns. It says here, Pat Mahomes has thrown 3+ touchdowns in 7 straight road games. Insanity. That's crazy. The Cardinals gave the Ravens a good run for their money.
They actually did, yeah.
That was a close game. The 49ers blew out the Bengals. So with the Cardinals and the Bengals keeping up with the Ravens, or the 49ers and the Cardinals keeping up with the Bengals, blowing out the Bengals and keeping up with the Ravens, does this raise eyebrows for the Seahawks? I think it does.
Yeah.
I think this might be the toughest division.
Yeah.
It's pretty deep. I'm not saying the Cardinals are a great team or the 49ers are a great team, but 49ers put work on the Bengals. And after watching the Ravens last week, the Dolphins are bad. But I mean, they kept up with the Ravens after how much they put up against the Bengals. The Ravens did more than the Patriots did against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So Vikings dropped it to the Packers. Chargers dropped it to the Lions too. It's crazy. Crazy week of football here. The Jaguars kept up with the Texans. Deshaun Watson set a franchise record for most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. Patriots 2-0 in the 10th time under the Brady Belichick era. Barkley got his 16th touchdown in first 18 games, most in franchise history. Steelers start 0-2 for the first time since 2013. Jacoby Brissett threw a career high for 3 touchdown passes. What's up?
So it's bigger news that the Steelers are starting at 0-2 since 2013, and the Seahawks are starting 2-0 since the same year they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, bro.
I don't like that.
Dak Prescott's looking really, really good. The boy needs to get paid, man. He's playing like he needs to get paid, man. Scary stuff. He's what? Mahomes is going to be the GOAT. I know. Trade him over to my team. Give him to me. All right. So I don't really have too much else to say about the recap, unless you do.
No, let's.
And if we run into anything else, we can discuss as we go. Oh. How did you feel about the Browns and Jets game there? I thought it was really sloppy.
It was.
I'm not impressed with the Browns so far, man.
Well, they had 10 less penalties yesterday than they did in their first game. I mean,
is that what you want to pull from it?
Well,
I guess it's an improvement.
I mean, that's more than half.
There you go.
Better. And but there was a lot of dumb penalties. And there was a lot of accurate but unnecessarily risky throws on the part of Mayfield. And I think that's what actually kept the Browns from scoring a couple of times, was that he tried to force bigger plays than he needed.
Okay. I didn't watch that game, and I didn't watch highlights yet, but I watched maybe the last 8 minutes of the game.
That was probably about the best 8 minutes.
All right, I'm pulling up all the rankings here. We got our coin ready. We got our coin ready. We're going to be facing against the coin. Last week, the coin did significantly worse than we did this week. I don't remember the numbers.
6, 9, and 10.
And now I remember why I wasn't doing this. So sorry, Twitch. We love you guys, but gotta go. So I got 10, you got 9, and the coin got 6. Yep. All right. So let's get on to week 3. And let's start out with the coin first.
Okay.
The coin to pick the Tennessee Titans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right.
The head-to-head stats say that the Tennessee Titans have won the last 3 matchups. And other than defense and their rushing, I'd say they're relatively close. This is going to be a tough pick.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see what the coin takes. Coin's going to take visiting team?
Yep.
They take the Titans. All right. So tell me who you're going to take and why.
Man. I'm going to go with the Jaguars.
Okay.
Tennessee defense, though.
They got Leonard Fournette in the backfield. Leonard Fournette's always a threat.
Yeah.
I'm also going to say, just for argument's sake, that I would like to say that Gardner Minshew has been playing relatively decent for the situation he's been put in.
I was just going to say, I want to pick
just Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
I would too. Just as the Jets suck, did you talk about the crazy ending to the Bears and Broncos? We did not. I don't think I am recalling what you're talking about, but I would have to go back and look at it. I can't see anything but black screen. There you are. Titans. Yep. I'm also going to take the Titans. I'm taking the Titans because I liked what they did week 1. Though they dropped the ball last week, I think they can bounce back from it. And I'm not completely sold on what's going on with Jacksonville's defense right now, that they'd be able to stop Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is probably going to have a phenomenal game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is specifically why I am taking the Titans. And I'll leave it at that. Let's move on to the 0-2 Bengals visiting the 2-0 Buffalo Bills. Last 3 matchups, the Bengals have won 2 out of 3, with the last 2 most recent meetings going to the Bengals. I don't like anything that's happening in Cincinnati right now, and I think that the matchup between the Bills and the Jets was a poor depiction of how well the Bills can play. I'm not saying they're going to win the division by any stretch of the imagination, but I can definitely see them going 3-0. So I'm going to take Buffalo. I really like what's going on with Allen. And other than Ross and the Cincinnati defense, the defensive line, I don't really see too much going. Oh, yeah, they're last in rushing. The Bills have 6 in defense. Yeah, I'm taking the Bills easy. Who are you taking? Tell me why.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The 9th in rushing for the Bills versus last.
2 scores within the last minute, walk-off field goal plus controversial goal. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. No, we didn't talk about it, but yeah, that was crazy. Man, the Bears are. I don't know what's going on with the Bears, man, but dude, what? I can't even explain it. I don't know what to say about the Bears at this point right now. And Denver just they need some help too. They need some help. You're also taking Buffalo?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Buffalo.
All right, so Buffalo it is. Let's go ahead and flip the coin. The coin takes Cincinnati. I like that. All right, let's move right along.
Even though it sided with the Ginge.
The Ginge. Yeah. All right, so we got the Lions visiting the Eagles. The Lions are 1-0-1, and the Eagles are 1-1. In the last 2 matchups, the Lions took them, and the most recent matchup was in 2016. Offense 8th for the Lions, 14th for the Eagles, 27th on defense, 22nd on defense, 6 in passing, 12 in passing, 16 and 23. Offensively, just looking at these numbers, I want to go with Detroit, but I feel like they've been having some struggles where they shouldn't be having struggles, and I can't always count on Matt Stafford. This is how I feel. I'm easily taking the Eagles on this one at home. If it was on the road, I feel like it would be a little bit more of a difficult win for the Eagles.
Yeah, I think this one comes down to location as well. I mean, if they're playing in Detroit, I would take the Lions, but they're playing in Philly, so I'm going to take the Eagles.
All right. Let's move right to the coin flip.
You flip this on.
Taking the visiting team. That's 3 straight visiting teams. They take Detroit. All right. This one is easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even really need to discuss it too much.
Nope.
Detroit. I'm going to take the Patriots at home over the New York Jets. The Patriots look just as good as fashion as they did last season. I think they're easily skating their way through the playoffs to make it to the AFC Championship and meeting up with the Chiefs. And I don't think there's anybody else in the AFC that can even speak right now. Jets are not going to stop the Patriots at home. New England, especially on their third-string quarterback. So let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
See what the coin takes. Coin takes visiting again. Jets.
There are actually 2 sides to this coin.
And it's not weighted.
No.
This is crazy. I like it. Raiders in Minnesota. Whew. Okay. Their last 3 matchups, the Vikings won. Last matchup was in 2015. Clearly 2 different teams now. The Raiders are running the ball really well. Dalvin Cook looks really good for Minnesota. Kirk Cousins hasn't really thrown the ball much, but I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the Raiders have been burned deep down the field quite a bit this season already. And then the fall of Abrams getting hurt the entire season definitely affects that backfield. I'm going to take Minnesota. I want to take the Raiders. They looked halfway decent in the beginning of the game against the Chiefs. And then I don't know what the hell happened.
Well, I could tell you exactly what happened.
Patrick Mahomes happened. Yeah. Send Cincy to the CFL. Jets for the upset. Patriots die in a plane crash. Wow, that's intense, Jeff.
Cincinnati to CFL. I'm gonna stick with the Raiders.
You're going Oakland?
Yep.
I like it. There we go. All right, let's see what the coin takes. Coin takes visiting again. Oakland it is. Wow. What is happening here? You know what? I'm all right with it. Here's a good matchup.
Ooh.
The 2-0 Ravens are traveling to the 2-0 Kansas City Chiefs. The last 3 matchups, the Chiefs won 2 out of 3 by winning their last one in 2018 in December.
But by a field goal.
Yep. Wow.
God damn.
Looking
at that,
the Ravens
holy crap, the
are
Ravens look good.
First in offense, second in defense, 4th in passing, and 1st in rushing. Where the Chiefs are 3rd, 19th, 1st, and 26th. Wow. It's in Arrowhead Stadium, and they got Patrick Mahomes. So the defense is second for the Ravens.
You know what? Give me the Ravens.
Give you the Ravens?
I would have got to check.
You're taking the Ravens. Okay. Baltimore. I'm going to take Kansas City. Wow. I don't know if I'm going to. Baltimore's defense is really good. Though they did play the it's why they gave Gruden a 10-year deal. Yeah, probably. They're probably bagging. So my problem is they got Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes can basically, turn up from the drop of a dime and basically, throw touchdowns at will. Can they stop the run game of the Ravens? And is the Ravens defense good enough to stop Pat Mahomes? Hold him. I'm not sure.
They were last year. I mean, they held them to 24 points or whatever it was.
You know what? I'm going to take the Ravens to upset Kansas City as well. I'm with you. I can see that happening. Yep, I'm going to do that. All right, let's see what the coin takes. The coin takes visiting again. Baltimore. Wow.
I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna go to the other side.
Okay.
I'm gonna start on this side. So
okay.
It makes a difference.
All right.
I got a theory here.
So we got a sweep on the Chiefs and Baltimore Ravens game. All of us saying the Ravens upset. You got the 1-1 Falcons visiting the 1-1 Colts. The last matchup was in 2015, and the Colts won by a field goal. Jacoby Brissett pulled out the win last week against Tennessee, who blew out the Browns the week prior. I'm not sold on the Browns after the last 2 weeks, so that doesn't really tell me too much about Tennessee. But I do know that Atlanta beat Philadelphia last week, and it wasn't in very beautiful fashion, if I could say. I wouldn't say it was a dominant performance by the Atlanta Falcons.
It was an entertaining game because it was two teams that were equally bad.
Right. Well, I don't think either of the teams are bad. I think they're above average.
That game
was bad.
Was played poorly. Although it was, on the defensive side of the ball, a vast improvement for Atlanta.
Yo, most definitely. Let's look at the numbers here.
And Dan Quinn should be very proud of that.
I agree. The Colts are last in passing. And the Falcons are third in defense. 28th in rushing versus the Colts third in rushing. So you're on two completely spectrums of one team can really throw the ball, one team can really run the ball. And then defensively, the Falcons are third, apparently.
Which I don't know how.
I don't know how either. NFL comes up with
one. They got stomped. Their defense looked like hot baby trash.
Hot baby trash. Is this coin calibrated? Ravens defense has only played Miami and Cardinals. The Cardinals gave the Ravens a run for their money, though. Colts win by 7. Chiefs embarrass the Ravens. Well, I hope so. Give me Atlanta on the road. I'm taking Atlanta. I think Jacoby Brissett's going to run into some issues just like the Philadelphia Eagles did. Carson Wentz was getting it left and right. Even had to go into concussion protocol. I think the defense for the Falcons is not as high as the NFL standings is saying, but it's not something to sleep on, and I don't think Jacoby Brissett's ready for it. Give me Atlanta on the road. Who are you taking?
You know what? Give me the Colts.
Taking Indy? I like it. Tell me why.
Just because it was my first thought to take the Colts. They've been playing better than I think people give them credit for. I think I'm not sold that Atlanta's really on an uptick. But I mean, you did make a good point with that Atlanta defense. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head what the in terms of rankings where the Eagles are instead of the Colts.
Marlon Mack's running. I don't really think it matters on how good the defense is so much as how well the Indianapolis Colts' offensive line is going to get it together to give him gaps.
Right. That's the biggest question for me. Because you had me all set to pick the Falcons. I was like, I'm going to pick the Colts. No, yeah, that's actually, so that makes a lot of sense to me, but I'm going to go with my gut and go with the Colts.
All right, let's see what the coin takes. Home team finally broke the streak. All right. Let's move right along. The 0-2 Denver Broncos versus the 2-0 Packers in Lambeau. Tell me what you're feeling. The last three matchups, the Broncos have won 2 out of 3. Their last matchup was in 2017. Winning by a field goal. Here's the numbers.
I'm going to go with the Broncos.
Broncos? I like the Packers' defense this year.
Wait, where is it?
It's in Lambeau.
Oh, yeah, screw that. Yeah, Packers.
Taking the Packers? It's in Lambeau. I mean, Packers' defense looks better than it has in years. Not sold on the offense of the Green Bay Packers, but Aaron Rodgers can do it with nothing if he needs to.
Yeah, if it was legal, he'd throw it to himself.
Right. So give me Green Bay at home almost every time. And I see the Denver Broncos going 0-3. Wow, man. Let's see what the coin takes.
All right, who's coin taking? Home team.
Home team.
Oh, we got another streak going.
All right. Clean sweep. Let's check the comments here real quick.
All righty then.
Eric just perpetually takes the underdog. I like it. I think Eric smoked too much of the Seattle bud. Eric should smoke. He would be way more interesting. I think he's interesting.
Thanks, bud.
Boy. The 0-2 Miami Dolphins are traveling to Dallas. Even if it wasn't the Dolphins, 9 times out of 10, I'm taking Dallas at home.
Yeah.
The fact that it's the Dolphins gives me a 1,000% reassurance. Give me Dallas all day.
Yeah.
I figured as much. The Dolphins are probably dead last in most categories. Oh, dear God.
Hey, they're 31st in rushing.
Dear God.
Oh, they're 30th in passing. It gets better.
They're 32nd in offense, 32nd in defense, 30th in passing, and 31st in rushing. Wow, man. The Cowboys are stout at home. They play really good at home. I can't believe we're seeing the Cowboys go 3-0 right now, but Dak Prescott is on fire.
And Zeke Elliott.
Is running the ball good. Wow, man. No way the Dolphins win this week. No way. I'm pretty sure they're tanking.
How freaking funny would that be if we're like, there's no way that's going to be like a 60-point game, and then they just walk in there and just smoke them.
That would be great.
I would love that.
I would love it. If I'm betting on it, not going to happen. But hey, you know what? I'll root for the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah. Deep down inside, I'm rooting for the Dolphins. But
no. This came out today. Speaking of the new match that we're about to talk about, the New York Giants are going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Eli Manning is not getting the start.
Hey, they tried this today. They tried this once before.
Yeah,
it didn't work out too well for them.
Well, it doesn't seem like Eli Manning's working out too well for him. I feel bad for the guy because I feel like he's New York Giants' scapegoat, and it's awful. I hate seeing it because I really have a soft spot for Eli after defeating what was probably the greatest football team of our generation, the 18-1 New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
But wow, poor Eli Manning getting his streak snapped of his Iron Man thing, and then coming back this season telling him he's going to get the starts. And 2 weeks in, they're 0-2, and I'm looking at this defense, and it doesn't tell me that Eli Manning's the problem. I'm looking at the defense and saying it's the defense's problem.
They're 6th in offense.
Yeah.
And 11th in passing.
Probably has a lot to do with Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, but they're 11th in passing.
Yeah, and 8th in rushing.
Yeah, okay. I'm
not
taking anything away from Saquon Barkley, but
yeah. I don't think Eli Manning's the problem. I think they got a lot more issues that need to be addressed before we're worrying about Eli Manning. But
actually, that makes it 10 times easier to pick the Buccaneers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
Because I watched the first, whoever it was they were playing, the Cowboys in week 1, and that poor kid, after they pulled out Eli Manning,
didn't have a chance.
No.
Flacco will get hurt. Yo, I'm kidding. Coin flip for Dow, Miami. Yep, let's do it. Oh, yeah. The coin flip for Dallas, Miami. We didn't do it. Thanks for doing that for us. Coin flip. Visiting Miami. I like it. All right, let's do the coin flip for Giants and Bucks now.
Giants.
Wow, crazy stuff. All right, let's move right along to the Panthers, who are 0-2 and possibly without Cam Newton, versus the Arizona Cardinals in Glendale. I picked the Jets last week because I didn't know homeboy was 12 years old out here kissing little girls and getting mononucleosis. So prior to injuries, I would have picked the Jets, but after the injury, I wouldn't have picked the Jets. However, I'm trying to get to Cam Newton being injured and not practicing today with the lingering thought that Cam Newton might not play. I'm going to take the Cardinals. But I will say right now that if Cam Newton does play, I don't think the Cardinals pull it out.
I don't think the 31st ranked defense is going to pull it out against even a banged up, poorly playing Cam Newton.
They got Drew Stanton in the second string, if I'm not mistaken. I think Drew Stanton's the Carolina Panthers backup.
I couldn't tell you.
I think Kyler Murray's playing good football for how the record looks.
I agree. Actually,
I'm impressed with Kyler Murray already, and I think they're going to get their first win, and they're going to go triple ones. But if Cam Newton steps on the field, it might be a different story. And you know what? Cam Newton hasn't really been playing all that great, and I've been saying that. So you know what? Give me the Cardinals anyway. Arizona for Nick. Where are you at on this one?
I'm actually with you on that one.
Arizona?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what the coin takes. Visiting Carolina. All right, moving right along. Let's check the comments real quick. Good call on the coin flip, though. Boston. Pittsburgh Steelers are 0-2, and they're going to San Francisco without Big Ben. And the San Francisco 49ers blew out the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Seahawks struggled against them. The Seahawks also had issues with the Steelers until I don't even think Big Ben was playing that good.
They had a bigger problem with Mason Rudolph, or whatever his name is. Isn't that his name?
I think so.
Than they did with Roethlisberger.
Yeah. I think this is an easy one for me. I'm going to take the 49ers. However, the Pittsburgh Steelers just got Micah Fitzpatrick from the Dolphins, who is not a top tier backfield. I think he plays cornerback. He plays safety or cornerback, but he's not top tier. But he's
safety.
He's not top tier, but he's definitely one of the better defensive backs in the league. I think that this Beredia kid, the running back for the 49ers, is pretty good. And I think they're going to lean on the run game this time. And I think the 49ers are going to squeak one out on the Steelers. So I'm going to take the 49ers on a really close game.
Yeah, that Mason Rudolph, I mean, he came in there and he looked like he knew what he was doing without.
He's been on the team for a year, so he's known about the system.
In spite of throwing an interception, although it wasn't really his fault. It was
a pass that didn't get caught.
Right, so it was still ruled an interception.
He also threw an interception on a 2-point conversion to Lano Hill.
That's just true. Yeah. But
I think the 49ers look a lot better than people are giving them credit for.
Well, and I'm also looking at that 4th and rushing, and I don't know where the Seahawks are ranked in rushing, but
that's a good point.
The Seahawks pretty much did what they would want to do in rushing.
Yeah. And that didn't really work for them for the most part. And they ended up dinking and dunking the ball around a whole bunch the rest of the game. Right after their third or fourth.
They dink and dunk the ball around, but then they also would get 2 or 3 run yards per carry. Yeah. And then both Chris Carson and Rashad Penny ended up breaking free a couple of different times.
Yeah, Rashad Penny got that, it was over 20 yards at least. So with a 28-yard run, something like that. It
was a 37-yard run for a touchdown.
So, was it 37? I thought it was closer to high 20s.
No, it was closer to 40 yards.
All right. I think the Steelers are going to have some issues defending the run game against the 49ers, and they're going to lean on it. Give me the 49ers. Who you got?
That's exactly the point I was trying to make, and yeah, also give me the 49ers.
All right. Let's see who the coin takes. Home team, 49ers. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that would get Pittsburgh that one. Seahawks.
I know. I don't.
At home versus the New Orleans Saints without Drew Brees. The last 3 matchups, the Seahawks won, but the last, or 2 out of 3 of the matches, the Seahawks won. But the last one they played in 2006, they lost
16
in 2016.
Yes.
I like Teddy Bridgewater. Nothing against Teddy Bridgewater, but he's not Drew Brees. And I'm not saying the Seahawks defense is great, because their secondary needs some work for sure. But I don't see Teddy Bridgewater coming out here and throwing the ball all over the Seahawks. I think what the problem that the Seahawks are going to run into is Alvin Kamara. Yep. But that front seven should – they get Ziggy Ansah back this week too. That Ziggy Ansah, Clowney, Ben Burr-Kirvin, or not Kirvin, LJ Coyer, KJ Wright, Bobby Wagner, all these guys just up in the front. I don't know how well Alvin Kamara is going to break through that defense. If Drew Brees was on the field, I'm taking the Saints. But in this instance, I'm taking the Seahawks. Give me Seattle at home against a Teddy Bridgewater-led Saints. And I say that lightly. Like, Teddy Bridgewater could still win this game.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater, I've thought that for a long time, that he's not as bad as people say he is. But
I agree. Mike Davis should not have left the Seahawks. Go ahead.
But yeah, I don't think he's going to be the guy to come into Seattle and beat the Seahawks.
No. The issue there, like I'm saying, the issue they're going to have is against Alvin Kamara. So you're taking Seattle?
Yeah, well, but that defense, I mean, yeah, it's changed a little bit, but when we've played teams that had, one real good running back, we've done pretty well against them.
Right.
It was when they had two or three, well, exactly how we run things.
Right.
When you got two or three, you're like, I don't know.
Seahawks are going to have issues when they run into like the 49ers.
I agree.
That's when they're going to have issues. Not against a Teddy Bridgewater-led New Orleans Saints. It's going to be a close game because that's the type of football that the Seahawks play. But give me the Seahawks.
They could either win or lose by a field goal.
He said, y'all can take Mike Davis back. I like it. The coin also took Seattle. So let's move right along. The 1-1 Houston Texans versus the 1-1 Chargers. The Chargers have won 2 out of 3. Last matchup was in 2016. Fifth in rushing for the Texans. Fourth in offense for the Chargers. Though that game that the Chargers played last week against Detroit really left me with some questions. Specifically just because I felt the Chargers should have been not having to rely on the kicker as much as they did. The kicker missed 2 or 3 field goals.
And an extra point, didn't he?
And I believe an extra point. So, that game should have been way further ahead for the Chargers, but they shouldn't be relying on their kicker against the Detroit Lions. The Chargers are a better team than that. And after watching how Deshaun Watson surgically played against the Saints, I'm going to take Houston. I like Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins' odds against the Chargers here with the 17th ranked defense for the Chargers. Let's get the coin out of the way.
I'm sticking with my guy Deshaun Watson.
Visiting team, Texans. You're picking the Texans as well? Normally I'd be taking the Chargers, but I don't like what they did last week. I'm not sold on it yet.
I don't like what the Chargers did, and I like what the Texans did even in their loss.
Right. I agree with that.
And I'm not going to do it this year. Give me the Rams in this one.
Yeah, the Browns aren't beating the Rams.
No.
It's not happening.
Even though it's in Cleveland.
It's in Cleveland, and I'm not sold on the Browns as hype after watching the last two. I was really sold on it when it was all hype, but now we've watched 2 games, and I'm not convinced it's clicking yet. Give me about 3-4 more weeks, and maybe I'll start picking the Browns again. But the Rams right now, I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I think if the Browns have a shot, it's going to be because oh my God, I can't think of his name now. Miles Garrett just goes out there and just starts murdering people, literally.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And then they're just like, hey, don't we have that junior high JV captain to put in? Then the Browns have a chance.
Before we flip the coin, I want to get this in. If you guys are in the Everett area, go to Tabby's Coffee, get some coffee. Tell them Talking Interference Sports sent you. It's in the Everett Library, Tabby's Coffee. Tell them Talking Interference Sports sent you. Go to SeatGeek.com. Use promo code GCSN next time you're getting tickets. Use GCSN as the promo code, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. And, it puts some money in our pockets and helps us improve the quality of the show. So,
because we're about quality.
We also have T-shirts to sell. So if you want some T-shirts, send us a message, and we can get that out. All right, go ahead, flip the coin. Visiting team, Rams. All right, last game of the week.
Okay.
The Bears versus the Washington Redskins, right? That's what's up? Yep. All right, last game of the week.
What was the score last week for Washington?
Washington played
Dallas.
And
They lost by 10.
10, yep. I'm actually
going to pick the Redskins.
In an 0-2 start for the Redskins, very, very impressed with how well Case Keenum is doing. I've always liked Case Keenum, and as bad as the Bears have been playing, like last week, the Bears should have had the Denver Broncos easier than what they had. I'm not sold that the Bears are the team they were last year.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I'm going to take the Redskins at home. I feel like we're taking an underdog here, but give me the Redskins right now.
That was actually my thought process on it too. Is that
I'm just not sold on the Bears right now.
Not been playing good. The Redskins have been playing way better than I thought they would.
Let's look at this real quick. The Bears didn't score until the second quarter, and they got 6 points, then 7, then 3. Where the Broncos put up 3 and they got blanked until the last few minutes where they put up 11 points. Let's look at the numbers here. Stats. I want to verify something here real quick. Mitch Trubisky went 16 for 27 with 120 yards. Sorry, I was reading the message. Montgomery got 62 yards, and Cordell Patterson actually was all over the place as well. Tyreek Cohen wasn't really a factor. Let's look at the defense here. 1 interception and only 1 sack. Yeah. Dallas is bad on the road, but when you beat Washington 31-21 by 2 scores as Dallas,
yeah, I mean they should have
smoked them.
Even in Washington, yeah, they should have gone out there.
Redskins can't run the ball. You're right. That's true. This is a close one.
Unless they bring out the Oracle.
I'm still sticking with the Washington Redskins, man. I want the Bears to win. I want to go out there and say that because I like rooting for the Bears. I like seeing the Bears do well. I got a close buddy of mine who's a Bears fan, and I always like when the Bears are doing good so I can talk with him about it. But I'm just not convinced on what's going on with them this season so far. And when Mitch Trubisky finally gets it together, then we can start talking. But I like so much more that the Redskins are actually putting up a fight where I didn't think they were going to at all this season. Washington over the Bears, close game.
I agree. I like Mitch Trubisky. I think he's a better quarterback than people think he is. Same thing with Case Keenum.
Home team. Go ahead.
I'm seeing more good things that I like watching Washington than I am with the Bears. At the moment, anyway.
Okay. I like it. So let me go ahead and get one thing out there right before it's not 100% guaranteed because she might be doing a plane ride to wherever she's got to go because she's a very, very, very busy woman. But next Wednesday, after we do our picks on Tuesday, we will be interviewing Bree Schaff, and I reached out to her because she is a Olympic athlete from the same town that we're from, and she's an Olympic analyst of sledding sports, such as skeleton,
like slidey sports.
Slidey sports. Okay, skeleton and bobsled. So we're gonna interview her next week, and she is also a NBC Winter Olympic analyst for obviously clearly NBC and the Olympics. So we'll be talking to her next week, but if she ends up having a schedule change, we will let everyone know. But please come check this one out.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm actually really excited about it. An Olympic medal or an Olympic athlete and a local female athlete. It's going to be fun for us. So definitely outside of the sports that we normally talk, but I'm excited about it. And you guys should definitely check it out and share it. Let everyone know. And I think that's all I got for this week.
I want to agree with
Flo
on that one.
Our Seahawks need to fix the O-line. Yeah, Ifedi's making so many mistakes. I was not impressed with him last week.
Bro, did you see that little stat they put up on the screen when they showed the most penalized offensive players? And it was like Michael Bennett, Ifedi.
Michael Bennett's a defensive player.
Or what was it? I forget what it was. Obviously. Most penalized players, maybe?
Maybe.
Or most neutral zone infractions or offsides or some damn thing like that.
Yeah.
And it was like Michael Bennett, and then down the list, Ifedi, and then I think Clowney was on the list too.
Yeah, Clowney and Bennett have a real issue with hopping off sides because they're trying to count the snap.
Yeah, it's the hard count that screws them
Yeah,
up.
so they get a lot of sacks for it though. So, but yeah, definitely.
But, what they called back? 2 huge plays for the Seahawks because
Bulls had 4 holding calls last week. That's insane. I did not even see that. Crazy stuff, man. That's all we got for this week. Unless you got something else you want to add.
No.
Looking forward to our week of football. Looking forward to our next week of picks. And again, Tabby's Coffee, Ever Library, GCSN promo code at SeatGeek.com. $20 off your next purchase. Go to a concert and use this. Go to a sporting event and use this. Help us out a little bit. We got t-shirts if you guys like us. Sport it. Tell your friends about us. Share this video. Like all of our pages. And look out for the Bree Schaff interview. Thanks, guys. Stopping by. See you next week.